Hey everybody, welcome back to James Draws Everything, continuing with our Drawing Every Country in the World's Flag series. And today we're going back into Latin America, Central America to be exact, Nicaragua to be even more exact. And that's somewhere right over here in between Honduras and Costa Rica. And Nicaragua does just kind of have one of those names, right? It just rolls off the tongue. Nicaragua, walking down the street, Nicaragua, the kind I like to meet, Nicaragua. I don't believe you, it must be true, no flag could look as blue as you. It does have a blue flag. So, yeah, my sister channel, James Sings Everything, that will be launching in the spring. So you want to set your reminders for that and subscribe. Spring of 2036. So James, what the heck is going on in Nicaragua? Well, it's got some drugs, right? It's a Latin American country. Only a little bit of drugs, so not a lot. It's not like Colombia or what are those other drug kingpin kind of states that's run by the cartels. Nicaragua, a little different, probably one of the poorer countries in Latin America, just due to a pretty big Contra war that they had there in the 80s. Contra war. Ooh, that sounds cool. All right, so the history of Nicaragua, presented by James. All right, so it was settled as a Spanish colony in the early 16th century. They declared independence from Spain in 1821, and then they became an independent republic in 1838. And so you think, all right, they got the Spanish out of there, so they're now a free and functioning state. But wait a minute, the British are still there. So yeah, the British were there too. Oh my God. And the British, they occupied a region that was called the Mosquito Coast. Right? And it wasn't called Mosquito because of the mesquite barbecue. It was called the Mosquito Coast because of the bad kind of mosquitoes. The ones, those pesky mosquitoes. So Mosquito Coast in Nicaragua, as the British kind of loosened control over that part of the world in Latin America, they kind of joined into what's basically the borders of modern Nicaragua. And because it's Central America, a lot of political upheaval through the first several decades of independence. And in 1978, that leads to a civil war that kind of brings like a military coalition to power at the end of the 70s. And that's led by some leftist guerrillas. Those are the worst kind of guerrillas. And Daniel Ortega, right? Daniel Ortega Saavedra. We usually just call him Daniel Ortega. Right? So this kicks off basically, we're getting into, Reagan America here, where we really start seeing intervention in Latin America, the height of the Cold War, trying to boot out all those nasty commies. And this civil war rages through pretty much most of the 80s, right? The Contras, you've heard of that before, right? With Iran Contra, and then the Sandinistas were the Marxist faction there, the Marxist guerrillas that were led by Ortega, and the U.S. sponsors a lot of that resistance. And kind of wrecks the infrastructure of the state, that civil war. So a lot of roads and all that are basically no longer there as after that civil war. So again, it kind of makes it one of the poorer countries in Latin America. But they just they just got to give socialism a chance, right? You never know. You never know until you try it. You know, it doesn't matter how many times you try it. You just got to keep trying, right? Practice makes perfect. So Ortega, he lost free and fair elections in 1990, 1996, and 2001. So he was trying. He tried as hard as he could to get a full-blown Marxist government in Nicaragua. And then he actually is elected in 2006, 2011, 2016, and then most recently in 2021. So a lot of irregularities in some of these elections too. But we're like in a reverse Cold War now. So all that stuff is awesome now. So we're gonna, yeah, again, it's still the poorest country in the world, or not in the world, one of the poorest countries in that region of the world. And because, you know, they don't really have much of a diversified economy, a lot of the labor force goes to Costa Rica, neighboring Costa Rica, where they do kind of, you know, low-skilled labor, like, you know, harvesting bananas and stuff. But I like bananas. That's good. And, yeah, so we've seen some of these Latin American countries kind of turn around recently, namely, you know, El Salvador. And, you know, the early part of, you know, this country's history, along with, like, El Salvador and, like, Honduras, there's a reason why their flags look kind of similar. It's because there was a lot of strong ties between those Central American countries in the 19th century. So under Ortega, basically has banned pretty much all like opposition parties. A lot of consolidated power, you know, like under the executive branch under his rule. A lot of protests and stuff are shut down. A lot of arrests, all that good stuff that happens when Marxists take over. So yeah, it's kind of one of those states right now that resides on a lot of like NGO assistance and, you know, foreign aid. And then he actually actually had like a bit of like a split with like some of the Sandinista factions. So yeah, let's see here. Yeah, that's what happens too. Like when these, you know, you saw it like in the Russian Revolution, right? When you got the Mensheviks and the Bolsheviks, right? They're all reading from the same playbook, but then they start killing each other. So I'm gonna bust out one of my graphic pens here, one of the colored ones, right? Because I like doing these. And this flag, it actually it's one of those flags that, you know, it's pretty hard for me to convey, right, with the kind of micro scale that I work with. But again, if you look real close, you can see that this says República de Nicaragua. So you can pause it and see that. And then America Central. So it's got like a gold lettering kind of going around this little coat of arms in the middle here. And that's pretty much it for the flag of Nicaragua. So what does it mean? So you got blue, white, blue, right? And the blue symbolizes the Pacific Ocean and the Caribbean, right? Kind of just like El Salvador's. And then the white represents the land between the two bodies of water. All right. So, and then that's the national coat of arms in the middle. Got all sorts of cool stuff. A triangle with looks like some I don't know what that is actually. It's just got like some kind of trees or something. Let's make it pop a little bit though. Let's get our 0.1 and just carry out some of them details. Kind of some weird Illuminati stuff going on in this one, right? It's got like a little thing in the middle there, and then some bands on top, and like another little And some green waves. All right. Okay, so let's just let's get rid of the pencil lines here. And then go back to the other graphic markers, get my 0.5 millimeters to be exact out here. And we'll just finish this up. Finish this off. Up, off, whatever. So we're getting there. I think we're almost done with Central America. Trying to think, we got a couple more we got to do, but we're almost done with a lot of these. Right, we're kind of in the home stretch. So let's see here. That is Nicaragua. Again, nice name. A nice name for a country, Nicaragua. Hey, it just sounds nice. It rolls off the tongue. That's the flag, though. So let me know what you think. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you on the next video.